Longevity is overrated. Here's what really matters. Robert Redford passed away last night. What a life well lived. When most people think about aging well, they think about living longer. But let me ask you, what good is adding years to your life if those years are filled with decline, disease, or sitting on the sidelines? The real goal isn't lifespan, it's health span. That's the number of years you live with energy, vitality, and joy. And oh, did Redford hit the jackpot. I want to tell you about someone else I know who embodies this idea so beautifully. His name is George White. George is in his 70s, and instead of slowing down, he's living a life of freedom and adventure as an international house sitter. I had the privilege of interviewing him on my podcast a while back. There's a link in the description. Now here's the part that inspires me the most. George takes 0 pharmaceuticals, none. At an age when most people are on at least a handful of prescriptions, he's medication free. His secret? Daily habits that fuel his vitality. Every morning, without fail, he practices yoga. He moves his body, he stretches, he breathes. It's part of his rhythm, part of who he is. And here's the amazing thing. George doesn't live in one place. He travels the world, house sitting for people in different countries. He wakes up in new places, meets new people, and creates new experiences. And through it all, he keeps his commitment to his health and vitality. That's what health span looks like. Not just existing, but thriving. Not just adding years to your life, but adding life to those years. Think about this difference for a moment. 2 people can both live to age 85. One spends their last 20 years in decline, dependent on others, with limited mobility and no energy. The other is vibrant, independent, traveling, laughing, making memories, and maybe great impact. Both lived 85 years, but one had a far greater health span. And here's the best part. Vitality isn't just for a lucky few, like Robert Redford or George White. It's not about having perfect genes or extreme discipline. It's about your daily choices that compound over time. So let me challenge you. What's one practice you could commit to this week that builds your health span? Maybe it's adding a short walk every day. Maybe it's drinking more water. Maybe it's turning off the TV and dancing in your living room, meeting new people, or joining a group. Let me share some important information from chapter 1 of my book, Claim Your Dream Life. According to Robert D. Putnam in Bowling Alone, the collapse and revival of the American community, as a rule of thumb, if you belong to no groups but decide to join one, you cut your risk of dying over the next year by 50%. If you smoke and belong to no groups, it's a toss-up, statistically, whether you should stop smoking or start joining. Studies conducted by health provider Cigna reveals widespread loneliness, with nearly half of all Americans reporting that they feel alone, isolated, or left out at least part of the time. In addition, the survey showed 54% of respondents feel that no one knows them well, and 40% report a lack of companionship and say relationships are not meaningful and that they are isolated from others. These are not good numbers, especially when looking at the direct impact these findings have on physical health and, quite frankly, the health of society. The bottom line is we all need loving, healthy relationships and communities of belonging for optimal health. Life-changing actions don't have to be grand. What matters is consistency, small steps, practice daily, build vitality that lasts. Because vitality is the fuel for everything else. Your dreams, your courage, your purpose. Without it, the bold life you imagine stays out of reach. With it, everything becomes possible. So tell me in the comments, what's one habit that makes you feel most alive? I'd love to hear your answers, and maybe we'll inspire each other to add a few more years of true vitality to our lives. Remember, longevity is nice, but vitality, that's the most important goal.